Hello folks, today we're going to do a little unboxing, or a big unboxing, of the CMON Marvel Zombies Kickstarter campaign. So I did get the pledge, so it's got the 2 core boxes so you could play it both ways. And plus I like the X-Men a lot, that was the only way to get the X-Men. Also like the Guardians of the Galaxy, so I got that. And I got the Sentinels because I like big robots. So with all that and with shipping, the grand total for this was $280. We're going to take a look inside, kind of see what I got for $280, maybe talk about what your options are right now. Like when you first receive this, let's say you're not going to open it. I'm not planning to sell it, but if I wanted to sell it, let's see what value I got as far as like the current retail value as of today. Alright, taking a look at the packing inside. It looks like it was packed really well. I'm going to get up here and really kind of inspect it. That seems alright. Of course, right here we have the thing. This is the box that could potentially make it all worthwhile. And that's the Kickstarter Extras, the exclusive box. This is what you won't be able to get in retail. And right here we have our extra boxes. Got the Sentinel Strike and the Guardians of the Galaxy. And then the 2 core boxes. This is the newer one because this has actually been out for a while. We'll talk about that later. This is the X-Men Resistance. And then of course, the core game, Marvel Zombies. We play as zombies. Alright, so what do you get for $280? You get a big pile of plastic and cardboard. Now, I would really like to use the stuff with Pulp Alley. I say that all the time, but I love collecting miniatures. I got this to paint it. I like Zombicide a lot. And I've grown up with Marvel. I was a Marvel guy more than a DC guy, if that's a thing. What's unique about Marvel Zombies is they have a lot of the side characters. Now, one of the aspects of this is that the zombies are going to go around and digest different characters from the Marvel Universe. So that means a lot of the side people that don't normally get miniatures, like Pepper Potts or the J. Jonah Jameson or those other kind of people, because of the nature of that, there's going to be a lot of those kind of characters in these boxes. So it gives me a lot of different miniatures to work with, a lot of different parts of the Marvel Universe. And if I wanted to, I could take most of this stuff, set it aside, and use those miniatures for any number of other games. So that's sort of the mindset and the reason that I'm keeping this, although I'm more or less lukewarm on it. I did find it was a really enjoyable type of Zombicide. I played the very small one. And I've seen some confusing information online, so just so you know, there is a really small version of Marvel Zombicide. I think I got this long time ago for about $35 or so. And what it is it's got 4 heroes and about 3 of the zombie versions of them. You are playing as the heroes against the zombies, and all of those are plastic, and maybe alternate versions of these. I'm not certain yet. I think so though, and the rest of it are standees. So there's a whole lot of standees in here, and that's how they kind of bring the price down. So, but it is it looks like it's got a very similar setup to this, or to the original one. So we'll wait and see on that. If nothing else, it's definitely sort of a bargain way to get into Zombicide and see if you like it. Before you spend $280, you could spend this. But I have been seeing this online for about $50 or $60 lately, and I think that's so people might think it's one of these. So just so you know. So this is the Kickstarter's extra box. So if I wanted to make all my money back on this, in theory, I could sell this. Well, this and maybe one other thing right now, and I would make the money back for all of this. That's in theory, and if I could convince someone to buy it. So the Kickstarter's extras, so And this is kind of where it comes in. This cost me nothing extra within the pledges and stuff. I didn't have to pick this as an extra thing. This is free. But it's really, if you think about it, it's really just sort of included in the price. It's something that you can't buy. Something that I probably won't need, except that I'm buying this for the miniatures, so the extra miniatures are nice. And it's something that would be really expensive to track down later. So there's the entire incentive for buying this a couple of years ago, and not just buying it right now and getting the shipping for free. The shipping wasn't, I got one wave shipping, which is in part why it's so long to get here. If I'd paid for the 2-wave shipping, I still would have got the rest of it today, but it would have just been like these little 3 things here, and probably this too. I'm not sure about this part. The basic game for this, this bottom box here, this delivered, I believe, earlier in the summer. If I paid for 2-wave shipping, which would have been a lot more expensive, I could have already had this and been playing it. I'm not certain about the other box, though. There's a little bit of a markup, too, for these other expansions. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to open them, I think, in this order. This is the one I'm the most curious about. Now, I've watched a couple of unboxing videos and seen a couple of things on this. But it's always something else just to kind of open it and look at it in person. Kickstarter extras. This is all the miniatures. Well, it's all of everything, it seems. So a lot of times with their Kickstarter extras, it'll be just this brown box. I'm glad that they at least made the box look really nice. Although this almost seems superfluous. Yeah, because it's got a lid and everything, so. Alright. Not even sure why we would need this, except for maybe that map. And it is nice, so it's clear plastic, but they give you this little map. So right here we have the character cards. There should be a card here for every character that's in the game. Both the zombie ones and the normal ones. I'm not going to bore you and go through all that. And got some more zombie cards slash whatever these cards are. Alright, so we have a quick look at all the characters here. So the way this works is it seems like they're color-coded for which one's which. The heroes are this blue color, except for our Iceman, who's ice, you know, of course, ice colored. No painting. There's one already painted. That's nice. I like to see that too. A lot of different characters in here. A lot of unique heroes that you don't see a lot. Got a lot of X-Men guy. Got a little X-Men guys like Nightcrawler here. This looks like Old Man Logan. Oh no, that's probably the Beast. A haircut mess with me. Loki over here. Skull and Bones. Crossbones, I mean. One thing that's interesting about these are the bases. These all have modeled bases on them, which is a new thing for CMON. And I'm glad they did that. It really helps on a lot of these models, like Nightcrawler here, with his little bamf happening right there on the base. That's a cool way to do the models. Most other CMON projects that I've seen, they've all had these little real blank models here. Let's see if there's any standouts. Oh, we got a Star-Lord, which is interesting. And And maybe these are alternate poses. We'll see if there's a Star-Lord in the other one. Got Kitty Pryde and Lockhead. Those were favorite characters of mine. Got Deadpool. It's always fun to see. I wonder what the best way to show this is. Alright, that's the top box. And here's box number 2. So these guys in brown are the normal folks. These are the other characters that you'll find in the side characters a lot of times in these Marvel stories. A lot of interesting dudes in here. What's funny is just looking at these particular ones, I can't really place who all they are. And the costumes, those are a little bit easier to do. Like you've got a Daredevil here. This looks like Elektra. Wow, look at the tree and everything. See what I'm talking about? It's so much more interesting than normal. It's also going to mean these are going to be kind of difficult to paint, maybe. Fisk. I'm not sure who that is. That might be Wang. That might be like the guy that helps out Doctor Strange. Power Fist, perhaps. Jean Grey, perhaps. Shang-Chi. Yep, a lot of cool characters. Is that Ghost Rider? Ghost Rider, he looks like he's got... Ghost Rider's got like some funky hair or something. Not too sure on that Ghost Rider there. The Black Knight. Let's see how many I can name out of here. This might be Miles Morales there. Madam Web, perhaps. Oh yeah, we got these are some of the bad guys but they aren't zombies. So maybe they'll be they're kind of the heroes too, so you could play kind of the anti-hero bad guy whose virtue is that they're not a zombie. So that's kind of neat. Alright, so that's tray 2. This is the zombie versions of most of the characters, not all of them. It's like we got Doctor Strange here. That looks really neat. Thor with his arms. You got Thor with his arms being ripped off here because he's not worthy. Can't pick up Mjolnir. He's trying. Miss Marvel, I guess, right here. Oh, I'm drawing a blank on some of these names. I'm not sure if that almost looks like not sure, that almost looks like Ghost Rider right here. It's a little bit harder to tell once they're zombies, but it's pretty cool. Oh yeah. The Lizard or something like that. Who's this guy? I'm not sure, but oh man, I just love the way they're coming out of the tombs and stuff like that. These bases are really neat and really thematic. Got Daredevil. Oh, are these are, I think these are all actually all one-to-one a zombie version of other characters. No. Some of them are, some of them aren't. It's like the second row are seem to be zombie versions of the last tray. Anyway. Let's go up here real close and take a look at these others. Just kind of go quickly across through here. Bunch of really cool characters. I love it. Moon Knight. Zombie Moon Knight. Wow. See, that's just going to be fun to paint. So kudos for making something like that. That's kind of neat. Zombie Cyclops. You got Nightcrawler, Gambit with a stick through his chest. Oh, this looks like Zombie Wolverine. Yeah, Zombie Wolverine in a cemetery or something. It kind of looks like a cemetery with that gate right there. Zombie Magneto, that's pretty scary. And then look at this Dark Phoenix. So she's kind of a bad guy anyway. She's in here with the zombies, but look at that plastic. How cool is that? It might be tricky to paint her. I'm going to have to mask off all of this stuff when I prime it, but very neat. And of course we've got Giant Man, who is tied down. Let's untie him. Alright, and down here on the bottom we've got Giant Man. This is Ant-Man when he goes up in size, and boy is he huge compared to these other ones. Really neat. What's he standing on? It's like a dumpster or something. Walking all over a dumpster or something like that. Holding a big piece of metal, like a door. It's like a car door in his hand. Really, really cool. And that's it. That's the stuff you can't get in retail, supposedly. This is the stuff that could be more difficult to find. You're going to have to track it down on eBay and pay whatever. But people are trying to sell this for what all the rest of this cost. So although $280 shipped is a lot for any kind of game and for miniatures, the big cure for feeling frustrated about that would be to fall in love with Games Workshop and try to put together an army of Marvel characters. This amount of miniatures with Games Workshop would be probably close to $2,000, and I'd have to assemble them all. Now they might be better quality, you could argue, to some degree, but especially with the decorative bases, I think that they've really stepped it up. And I just want to give them credit where credit is due. All right, let's dig into the Guardians of the Galaxy. So this should be interesting. We've got a Star-Lord in the other one. Got a little bit of extra rules here. There's a little rule set. And we've got the Guardians and Thanos. That's interesting too, because we've got a different color. Remember the color scheme for the other ones? Oh, nice. Take the shiny plastic off and really have a good look inside of here. Here's the quick look at all the characters from the Guardians of the Galaxy set. Groot looks really nice on there. Of course, we got the zombies. And this is Thanos, which is really cool. It's like a rocket raccoon. And the bystanders here, we got Cosmo and Howard the Duck. So I read Howard the Duck. No, I read the Guardians of the Galaxy comics. It's one of those. In fact, I started looking for them after the movies, and I went and read them all. And to the best of my knowledge, Howard the Duck did not appear in any of the comic books, so he is just a product of the movies. Now he had a comic and stuff, but I don't think he was a Guardians of the Galaxy character necessarily. I don't remember him from those comics. So, and taking a closer look at this box set, one thing to note is there is no Star-Lord if you want a Star-Lord that's not a zombie, you'd have to get the Kickstarter Extras box. So, it does look like all the characters have both the regular version and a zombie version, except for Groot, who is not a zombie. And I don't see, no, there's Mantis and then zombie Mantis, there's Drax and zombie Drax. And it's interesting, there's no zombie version of Gamora. So Gamora, too tough to be a zombie. Now, I might have missed her in the other box, and I'll have to go back and look at that. I apologize if I missed anything. And of course, you know, I'm not going through the cards. These are all going to come with these cards, and probably the zombie versions and the bystanders that are in here will have little cards too. So the box sets I've been noticing have been marked up a little bit too. In fact, I think I saw this particular box set for almost $70. Do not pay $70 for this. You just need to wait. I think I saw more reasonable places putting this around $40 or so, but a lot of them you had to pay for shipping, so it might end up being that much. Okay, and now we have the Sentinels. This is actually going for a little bit less than the Guardians of the Galaxy one. And this has some rather big characters in it, because it looks like they had at least attempted to keep into some particular scale. I'm not sure how they measure up next to like 20, if they're 28 millimeter, or what they actually are in terms of scale with other miniature games. Alright, so we've got their rule set. Probably some very specific scenarios for these guys. It is. It's like we've got whole new scenarios just for these guys. That's kind of cool. And we've got their little deck of cards. And everybody that's in here. They're nice and big and chunky. That tape off here. Alright, so here's the Sentinel set. Now, right off the bat, we've got Professor X and Zombie Professor X. Pull them out. So there's Professor Xavier. There's a Zombie Professor Xavier with Cerebro, just living his best life, cruising around. He looks like he's having more fun, to be honest, than the other one. Hashtag no limits. Alright, and here's Sentinel number 1. Looking very menacing. See, how cool is that? And they have a Marvel Crisis Protocol game with a bunch of miniatures too. Those you have to sort of assemble and paint, I believe. So it gets back into that whole Warhammer thing. Or these at least are color coded, so if you can't paint or decide not to, you can still enjoy the miniatures. And they stand out just fine on the board for board game purposes. A bunch of really interesting classic poses with their little, got their hand out to shoot you with whatever shooty blast that these things emit. Got the really nicely decorated bases. All kinds of carnage, broken wheels and light posts and stuff like that, like they're just walking over some garbage. Doing battle with muties. Alright, and that is the Sentinel Strike. Alright, and here we continue. Now we've got X-Men, the X-Men Resistance. There's the back of the box. Now this is the standalone Marvel Zombies game. In this one, you're playing. It's got a rule set so the heroes can play against the zombie heroes. The big twist in the regular version is you're the zombies against Shield and the heroes and stuff. So this one, you're fighting against zombies. So although I read a lot of Marvel comics, I didn't read any of this particular storyline. So I'm a little bit unknowledgeable, to say the least, about the actual story of this. But I do know what Zombicide is and how it works. Before this, the only other way to play as the heroes was with the rule set in this smaller one before. And I'm wondering if this will be very similar to this, as far as like how it actually plays and how it works. Hopefully, because that little game was fun and I liked playing it that way. Alright. Got a whole sheet of tokens. These are very familiar kind of tokens. It looks like we've got some street stuff. I don't know if these are... maybe these are bashed-in doors is what it usually has. And of course we've got our little danger zones where the zombies spawn up. I'm not sure what this X is. Got a big sentinel hand. Maybe we could pick that up and throw it at people. Kind of like the sign. Alright, and then we've got a box of miniatures, which we'll look at in a second. Right here we have all the tiles. Now these are all the tiles that you'll use to play the game. They become the game board. A lot of times with the Zombicide games, this is the part that seems the weakest, so I want to take a look at it first. The rest of what we got in here is interesting with this box. They've got all the cards laid out here on the bottom. It looks like there's a little bit of room for sleeving. Usually you need to almost double the space. If you do real thin sleeves, it looks like there's about that much over the top. So you could potentially sleeve these and maybe get them back in without it being too big a deal. Here we have zombie traits. So instead of finding items like you typically would do, either as zombies you're going to consume people and get different traits. And here the superheroes but the heroes also can pick up certain traits. So instead of getting more equipment, they just get more awesome at whatever it is that they do. So that's pretty cool. Got a little set of black dice here. This is very typical Zombicide dice where it looks like the 6 is a bite. No, the 1 is a bite and stuff. So that's got 6 dice there. We've got some little colored plastic cubes, like you see in a lot of board games. I've never seen those in a Zombicide game, so that's interesting. And then we've got these little rings to help you remember which player color you are. Got a deck of zombies, a deck of heroes, and yeah. Got our cards that describe each of the characters. And here we have the tiles. Just kind of looking to see if they seem warped or anything, and they don't. These actually seem like they made it pretty good. I'm not seeing anything bowing out or anything too bad. No, not at all. Actually pretty good. And the print on it, let's see. Make sure you can see it. A lot of interesting superhero-y locations. Got the pool hall going on here. The Zombicide map tiles sometimes are really interesting. Like, they do a good job, I think, with the artwork on these things. These all look like interesting locales that make for a bunch of good maps. Definitely been a lot of destruction going on in these different areas. Some blood. Oh yeah, looks like the X-Men's HQ there. Oh, this is probably the mansion, the X-Men mansion. And then different levels of it. Yeah, there's the X-Plane. And their little, that area there. And their garage. The garage. How cool. That would be neat to play around the X-Men mansion and stuff. I am a little excited to play the Zombicide game, the actual Zombicide version of this game. I'm not unexcited. It's just that I've gotten a lot of Zombicide in. Like, I've been able to play it a lot. And eventually, you just kind of get tired of it. And then the cape kind of stuff in general, like all the Marvel stuff has just been so over-marketed lately that I've become kind of over it. But this is at least reasonably exciting. All right, here we got the dashboards. Now, ever since Black Plague, they figured out that having these plastic dashboards just makes the whole experience a lot better. And this must be the destination for those cubes. Instead of pegs and stuff, we've got little cubes to mark things, and that's different. Could be knocked off potentially, but they're recessed in there. Got a little place for all those character sheets we've been seeing that'll lay on there. Their traits that you pick up will kind of go on here. If you pick up one of these little sidekicks, they can assist you if you're not eating them. If you're on the other side and you're eating them, then I guess maybe you get points on how good they taste. I'm not sure. Comes with 6 of these. You typically would play with all 6 if it was a regular Zombicide. I'll take this lid off and go up here and show you a little closer what these look like. Alright, and right here we have, looks like Zombie Juggernaut, Captain Marvel. The zombie version of Iceman is pretty epic. Pretty cool. It's got like a big skull. It's kind of hard to see on the camera, but he's ice surfing out of a big frozen skull or something. Really bizarre. Lots of good detail on these, much like the others. Got some bystandery kind of people. They got weapons, they're holding their own best they can. Again, not 100% certain who every single one of these are. It's obviously Colossus, Storm, Mr. Sinister. Looks like a Rogue. No X-Men would be complete without Wolverine. And that's either Psylocke or Jean Grey, I'm not sure which. Then we get a look at our baddies. Now these are brown, but they obviously look like monsters. These are probably the brutes, you know, with the extra HP. And these are probably the runner type zombies. Oh, this is Multiple Man. Is who I think this is. And of course, having a lot of them, that's kind of neat. That's a neat way to kind of represent a lot of the rank and file. Is just all that guy. Got another normie here down below. Now the way these boxes... Alright, so we're on the bottom layer. And aside from going up this row on the side, the bottom layer of these little Zombicide boxes are usually the same set and they're repeated over and over again. So let's go across one row and then up and down the side here. So you do end up with a fair amount of repeats, which actually is kind of pleasant. when you go to paint them, it's just as easy to kind of paint the same thing and maybe a different, same outfit, but a little bit different color scheme or a little bit different pose each time. But that's, there'll be just a bunch of repeats of these exact same characters all the way up and down here. There's quite a lot of them. You don't want to run out, that's for sure. Then just to look at some of these side characters, or what do you call them? They're not sidekicks, they're bystanders, I think they call them on here. But these are just other Marvel Universe characters. People that you might see around the world in the Marvel Universe. I'm actually not sure who a lot of these people are. CMON's method of storage for these works really well, but it does take up a lot of space. It can be a bit of a space hog. But it does seem to protect the miniatures and keep them from having a bad time. One thing that seems to happen a lot is there's not really enough room for chits. Like, I don't really see an area in here that's dedicated to all the chits that I'm about to pull out. They probably will all fit in here. Maybe this could go with this stuff, and they could all go in here, and maybe some in here, but there's really not a lot of extra room for these. And I'm going to put them like that so that nothing gets lost. Put the miniatures up on top because I'll be pulling those out to paint at some point next year. And the rules, should I care to read them? I won't. And that's the X-Men Resistance. Resistance is futile. And now we have the Marvel Zombies core box. This one's been out for a while. What's funny is the West Coast finished fulfilling even the second wave about a month or so ago. And I've been bombarded with advertisements to buy all these things. And it's been really frustrating. Really frustrating just watching advertisement after advertisement come in to try to get me to buy something that I want really bad and already bought years ago. At least a year ago. Can't remember how long ago it was. It's been a while though, I think. Alright, so here, this is a standalone, another Marvel Zombies game. So basically I got two games that play a little bit differently. This one again, the zombies playing as the zombies against the humans. This all is the exact same deal on the bottom here. Got all the same components that we had before in the same layout. We've got another punch board. This is very similar. This looks a lot like the punch outs for the small game. It's got the little Avengers sign, which is something you can pick up and throw at people, or use it as a shield or something. I think you throw it. All right, let's take a quick look at their tiles. I'm just going to grab these two off the top, do a little quick test, see how we feel about warping. Seems like they made it through. We'll see how it does after being in my house for a couple of days, but so far so good. These don't seem warped or anything. My Zombicide Invader ones were really warped when I got them. It was kind of disappointing. There's this side, and then this side. It's like we got a market on Broad Street someplace. Get nice artwork on here. You really see it's definitely apocalypse time here in this Marvel city. Not a lot going on retail wise. Just a bunch of busted up cityscapes here. Got a lot of Easter eggs and stuff for different little, like that's damage control. I saw Oscorp a minute ago. A lot of little Easter eggs for different little buildings and places from the Marvel Universe. This is Doctor Strange's Sanctus Sanctorum. Alright. Yes, yes. Very typical Zombicide amount of tiles. Alright. Let's take a look at this. Again, we've got dashboards. Now these are green. Are they different? They're really not different, except that they're a green color. It looks like they've got all the same places for cubes and cards and stuff. So none of that's going to be any different. What's interesting too is most versions of Marvel Side have some rules to like level them up, and occasionally I've even bought extra trays. But I haven't yet really needed them all, so it's always been kind of a waste. But now I've got them too for these. But you get a lot of times there are rules in there to kind of take Zombicide from 6 people to 12 people, or do really insanely big games and stuff. There's usually extra rules for that. So you got another whole set if that's something that you find that you do with the other Zombicides. All right, let's take a look at this first row. All right, so we've got Zombie Wasp. We've got the Hulk. Looks like Zombie Deadpool. Zombie Captain America. Zombie Iron Man. Zombie Miss Marvel. Not Miss Marvel, but the other one. Then we got that one of the ladies from Wakanda. Looks like another S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. More S.H.I.E.L.D. people. Who is this? That must be that. I think this is that guy from the Deadpool movies and stuff, or the other agent or something that he's familiar with, the Hydra agent that he knows personally. And I believe this is Deadpool's roommate, that blind lady. This is a great example of a character that you would never see in a typical war game type box set like this. And it's not, and I'm not saying that it's worth $280 to make sure you get Deadpool's roommate, but that is a nice get inside of here. Then of course we've got some heroes. Who is that? Madam M. Red. What is she called? Alright, you got the Scarlet Witch, Thor, that is Miss Marvel. Looks like we got Doctor Strange, and we've got the Black Panther there, and Spider-Man. So the bad guys, instead of zombies, you've got S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. So here's some regular S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Here's some super fast runny S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. Here's some big beefy armored S.H.I.E.L.D. agents. These are guys that are probably the brutes in there. We've got these guys who are running. I don't know, they look like they have batons. It's like a marathon runners or something. And much like the other one, this is the set that the set of not zombies but S.H.I.E.L.D. guys that you'll see all the way through the rest of this box set. So let's take a look, and we'll focus on this side and kind of look at all the bystanders that are in here. And it looks like some familiar faces. If I'm not mistaken, that's Aunt May right here. Probably Mary Jane, Spider-Man's girlfriend. J. Jonah Jameson, a lot of Spider-Man characters here. I'm thinking this might be Pepper Potts, perhaps. Pepper Potts, perhaps? Or that might be Pepper Potts with a little briefcase. This is some scientist person. And I think that this is Wong, Dr. Strange's friend. And there you have it, folks. Copious amounts of Zombicide. In theory, I could pay for all of this with just selling this one box set. I think even with a shrink off of it in perfect condition like that, I could probably sell this for at least $200, at least maybe $250. There's certainly people selling it for more right now, or trying to. But I probably won't take the hit. I'll have lots of cool miniatures and just kind of figure out a way to store all this. That's the other thing, you know, you buy a game online, or you pick one up at the store. This was my Marvel Zombies footprint just a little while ago, and it's less than even one of the Sentinel expansion is even bigger than this thing. So now I've got to make some room, but I'm happy to do it because the miniatures look really cool. And overall, I'm not whining too much. If you like Marvel Zombies, or if you like Zombicide, and you like Marvel a whole lot, this is the best version of a Marvel board game you probably will find. This has so many characters in it. The detail's great. The detail on the bases is pretty good. I haven't gone model by model and really examined it all, but CMON, by and large, has pretty good quality control. I've found very few things that look like they're not assembled properly or something. Definitely nothing I couldn't fix with a little bit of model skill. But that's I think that's where I'm going to wrap it up. Thanks again, CMON, for another Kickstarter. I wish the shipping was a little bit less. I wish I could have bought all of this. I wanted to get the big Galactus. I was hoping to spend about $300 and get Galactus and a couple of these things. That just ballooned up to like $700 or $800 before the shipping, and I couldn't do it. And no reasonable person probably would, but who knows. Being reasonable in this hobby is definitely a luxury and not necessarily a necessity. So I'll leave you with that. If you like unboxings like this, please come by and check out this playlist right here. I've got me unboxing all kinds of games. Over there's something the internet thinks you'll like. Please subscribe. I'd love to see you again. Until next time, enjoy your games, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye.